Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. So I thought it would be nice to talk about beginner investing. You know, starting as a beginner. Look, everybody starts somewhere, right? And so I'm going to I'll let things populate here just a little bit. But you know, when I started in real estate, I didn't know anything. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have any help whatsoever. It was just all on me. Now the first property I bought, I kind of, happened by chance. And all these properties you see, every one of those blue dots, those are property that I've purchased personally. I personally found the deal. I personally negotiated the deal. I personally bought the deal. There's maybe one or two assignments in there that you see, but not many. Because I could list a bunch more of that stuff. But listen, and that's one of the things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how, wholesaling is really like the last thing you want to do. It really is. And believe me, you learn in my class, and those of you that are new here, I have a mentorship, and I've got many people that have made, millions, and people that have made hundreds of thousands. And Liam, who just popped in here, he's on his way to being a millionaire. He's already made well over 600,000 now, maybe. And I don't want to shortchange him, but I don't like to exaggerate ever. I was careful not to exaggerate about my own wealth or the wealth of my students. So, but I have really a cool set of circumstances going right now. Some of you know that I just got my son. I have 4 kids, and the whole purpose of me writing my book, which you don't have my book, get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. That'll be the best $10, $20 that you ever spent. I'll read it to you if you get it on Audible. So that book you can get on at Kindle and Audible, and you can get that on Amazon. But what I really want to talk about right now is just the fact that real estate is accessible to everyone, even if you have zero. Okay, now let me explain why. You could have zero, and you just need to know how to find a deal. And that's what I teach you how to do, and that's what I did in the beginning. In fact, I can show you properties here that when I had nothing, I had to find a partner. So in fact, maybe I'll go over to the whiteboard and talk about this a little bit. Everybody here okay? Audio good? Let me know if it's not. But what I was going to say is 2 things. One, my son, who just recently got interested in real estate, so I show him what I do, just like I show my students what I do. And right off the bat, and it doesn't always happen right off the bat, but we got a good deal. And then we got another one about 4 or 5 weeks later, not quite as good, but still really good. But the first one was really killer. So I expect on the first deal make $100,000, and I'm going to show you this stuff. In fact, I'll show you exactly if you want here. But that one we bought, I expect 100 to, and I don't want to be too optimistic. 150 could even happen, but 100 for sure. And then the second one, I anticipate 50,000. If it wouldn't surprise me if it was 70,000. But so we have a unique opportunity in time, and I want you to think about this because this is important to all investors. When you have your real estate, whatever, like if I closed it, if I flipped the property before the end of the year, before January 1st, then what would happen is it would be taxable in this year. So I want to get these properties on the market, but I'm going to make sure they close after January 1st. Now, why? Because capital gains. The capital gains will be significant. We've held these for less than a year. So if I have to pay capital gains, I won't have to pay those capital gains for a year. That's important. Now, number 2, I want to find another property to roll the 150 plus profit that we're going to make on those 2 houses. I want to roll that into purchasing something else. Now, because we got $150,000 plus profit on these, it's going to give me the opportunity to buy a property, say anywhere from 3. I mean, I'm talking buy and I can buy anything, right? A house or whatever. But I bought $1 million home not long ago for about $500,000. So that's a higher end property. Most houses that I buy are the stuff that most everybody here can afford, anywhere from 150 to $500,000. But if I pay $500,000, it's going to be worth damn near $1 million when I buy it. That's just how I work. But the ideal thing is we're going to roll. And let me just show you guys here. So and I'm not going to use the exact houses just because I got to be a little bit cryptic right now, but I'm going to show you everything, addresses and everything. But let's just say that this is, let's just say I got this house here. I'm flipping it. For example, I have one not far away that I am. And then I have another one down the street, which is exactly how I have this other one. I'm going to flip it. And I'll make at least 70 on that. So I've got 170. Now, where do you think I want to roll that? I want to roll that into, ideally, either an industrial property, or I want to roll it into, a commercial property. And now we got enough. Now we got, we're going to have between $150,000 and maybe $200,000. Now we got enough money that we can put down and borrow money from a bank. We can buy something right. We'll buy something that may be up to, maybe up to $800,000, right? That's putting 25% down. With 200 or 600, if we put 150 down. Now, this is where you start to create long-term generational wealth. Now, if you follow the fundamentals in the book and in the way I teach you in the mentorship, which, by the way, don't let me let this go by. I got a free webinar every Thursday night at 7 p.m. You don't want to miss it. You should compare, right? I urge you to compare. When you look for a mentor, when you look for somebody, you should look at what they've done and how their students have done. And I don't like generalities like deal or made a bunch of money. I'm talking about specifics. And that's what you get with me. I show you, students that have made specifically. In fact, I want you to see this. This video just released, by the way. Maybe we could even watch it here. If you guys want to, we can watch it here. But check this out. This is a video I just released today, okay? I'm actually competing with this video right now, I guess, as far as that goes. But this here is Josh, great student. I think he's been in the class 3 years. He's made damn near $1 million now, and he's done it primarily with land. I've flipped a lot of land. I love land, but that's not exclusively what I do. But I do take the profits from the land or houses, and I like to buy industrial building, office buildings, and commercial retail centers, and apartments too. I bought apartment buildings too. And those are the kind of assets that once you make enough flipping land and property, you can take a certain percentage of that. Like he's damn near got $1 million. He could pull $500,000 of that, and he could go buy maybe up to a $2 million building that will be enough income to take care of him and his family. And he can quit his job. In fact, he did quit his job, but he quit his job just plainly off the monies that he's making on the land that he's flipped. So we can talk about anything you want, but I want to just give you a picture of how this works and how to start as a beginner. So I'm going to jump to the whiteboard and just share a few thoughts. This hasn't been pre-rehearsed or thought about well, but it's already up here. I do it all the time, so this is not hard for me to do. So let's go over to the big whiteboard and talk about it. All right, so look, this is kind of the hierarchy of making money. Okay, I'll just put it that way. At number one, right there. Okay, we'll just say number one. It's buying and selling. When you're buying and selling, make sure can you guys read that? Let me know if you can read that. Buying and selling, that's where all the money is. Because when you can buy it, you have all the power. You don't need a partner. You don't have to split the profit. That's where I always want my students to be eventually. Now, short of that, you can still be in a powerful position to get yourself in a position where you have the rights to buy the property. Even though you can't afford the property, you have the rights to buy the property. Okay? So in that situation, probably the second best is going to be partnering, right? So number two is partnering. So finding somebody with the money. That's where and what's the equality here, right? The equality with partnering is simple. One person has the deal, the other person has the money, okay? And typically how that goes is 50-50, right? And that's okay, and that's a fine place to be. And I'm going to show you how, or I can if you want, how I actually bought my very first property by having very good creative financing. I had creative terms in place where I got in with $500. 6 months later, I had to have 10 grand, and I was able to do that because I got to have access to the property rent-free for 6 months, which the property was worth, more than that. So I saved the $10,000 over that 6 months, and that's how that was my down payment. So it was the creative financing that made that possible. The owner carried. It was a beautiful thing. Now, the low end, and what I don't like people to think is like, this is what you do as it's like a hedge. If you get a great deal on a property and you can't afford to buy it by yourself, but you look for a partner. Well, maybe you don't have a partner, or maybe you start to weigh out, ideally there should be plenty of money that partnering would be the next best thing. In other words, you get something you're going to make 100 grand on, you split it, you each make 50. You didn't put any money out of your pocket. The money man or the money woman, could be the case, put out the money, and now you split it. Okay, that's fine. But the last thing, the third, and the one I have the least desire for any of you to do, because there's so much hard work for peanuts. Okay. And, and I know there's sub 2 and this other stuff going around where, it's like 10 people split a peanut in each, people. If you notice, every time Pace Morby talks about a deal, he says deal. He doesn't really talk about money. All right, he'll say you're on track to make. Doesn't talk about specifics. It's always vague. I don't like vague. I like to be very, very specific in terms of what I talk about. I think the rest is kind of BS. I don't like it. So, but number 3, wholesaling and assignments. Okay, now this is basically the lowest form of profit, the least amount of money, but it's an alternative to partnering. Okay, and in fact, you might even you might wholesale it to somebody that does partnering. So ideally, what I like to get you into deals that are so good that you don't even have to wholesale it. In other words, I've had properties that were so good that when I went to the bank, they financed 100% of it. Or I went to a private lender and they said, we'll loan you that plus $50,000 if you need another 50, because the asset was so good. Now listen, you could be 20 years old and do that. You could be 50 years old and do that. It doesn't matter. But you need guidance, okay? And that's why I tell you, if you're going to pay for mentorship, look at who's teaching you. They should have a very specific record of deals, profits, not, I made a bunch, not deals and, just vague stuff. It should be very specific. And I go through and I painstakingly show the millions I've made on apartments, the millions I've made on land, the millions I've made on industrial property, the millions I've made on commercial property, and the millions I've made on houses, small lots, and acreage. Very specific, because that's important. But more importantly is the students, right? When you see one of my students, and I'm going to show you one here in a minute, you'll see that the most important thing is that the students do well, right? If you're going to put your kids in a school, you wouldn't care if you had, whatever. You had the most respected man in the world teaching in that school. If you went into the school and his classroom was filled with gangbangers and drug addicts and idiots, you wouldn't put your kid in there, right? So you look to the students. The students is what you should be looking at, because you want to see the results of the teaching, the results. And that's what I'm so proud of. And that's why I want you to compare me to anyone if you're considering mentorship. And anybody out there that's selling mentorship that doesn't encourage comparison, they got something to hide. I encourage comparison, so please do so. So follow me on this again. Number 1, buying and selling. Number 2, partnering, because you split the money 50-50, but you should have such a, if you set your standards high, you'll make a good enough deal that it'll be worth partnering and making more money than you would doing a wholesaling. Wholesaling deals, in my experience, overall, most of them are simply people just getting in the way of somebody paying full retail. It's a tougher business to do for the people that were doing it, just because the margins are much smaller. So anyways, I'm going to go back to the desk here, and we can keep talking. I'll be more specific and show you a little more about what I'm talking about. All right, so what do you guys want to do? You guys want to watch Josh here, or do you want to, yeah, land. Let's talk about land. We're going to come back to him because this is only a 4-minute video with Josh, but I'm telling you, this is dynamite. This is what you really, really should be interested in. If you're a man or woman and you're concerned about, you realize you need money for college, you need money to take care of yourself, pay your home off, all those sort of things, all that American dream, it's out there and it can be done. Hey, so fun. Hadn't seen you in here in a long time. Jim and I appreciate you being here. Clint, Liam, everyone. Feel free to chime in, anybody. So I guess where I will take you real quickly, I'm going to take you to Google Earth for a second. This is actually a really good example. So like right now, I've got 2 houses. It's not these 2, but I've got 2 houses in this neighborhood basically. That I'm going to take $150,000. I'll make over $150,000 with my son on that. And this is the thing. The whole purpose was to be a learning exercise for my son, but we're actually falling into what's really a bullseye, it looks like. Now, I found another building to buy, and this isn't it because I'm not going to tell you what it is till I own it. But we can buy a building like you see here. These are industrial buildings. Some of you think, well, who would want that? Well, guess what? Anybody that builds things, anybody that makes things, manufacturers, this is what they need. They need a roll-up door, like you see on the sides here, roll-up door, little office space in the front, room for employees to park. It's a beautiful thing. I own a lot of property like that. And so what I found is I found a property that I found the deal. I found the deal that I want to roll the 2 houses that I'm selling into. So the deal I found is about $500,000, and it's a building similar to this. It's actually bigger than both of these. It's like both of these put together, basically, or maybe even all 3 of these. So the idea is I've got this tied up. I've got to buy that. Now, I may have to buy that. I can coordinate the sale where I have the 2 houses for sale, and then when they close, the money moves over into a 1031 accommodator. I did a good video on 1031 and reverse 1031s. So that money will go into a 1031, and it will buy the asset that I've already pre-agreed to buy. Now, let's say the variables on that can happen what if somebody backs out of it? You buy more time. Sometimes you'll tell the buyer, look, I'll give you $10,000 non-refundable. We'll extend the escrow another 30 days if we need to. And this is easy to do. When you're buying like the asset now, but this is the beautiful part of this, okay? I got to go back to the whiteboard now. I'm going to go back to the whiteboard because I want you to understand this. So back to the whiteboard. So understand, I kind of explain this stuff right here, right? But in this example that I'm giving you, and this is like my son is a beginner basically, but he's got a great mentor, right? He's got me. So what's happening is we're going to take the 2 houses, a little thicker one, no, a little thicker. So we're going to take, we got house 1, 100K profit. Okay, I know we're going to make 100K. I just know because I know the value, and that's what I tell everybody. You got to know value. Okay, then we got the second property we bought that's just only slightly behind in being ready. Okay, so we got 1, we got 2. I expect, we'll just say 50,000 here. So I'm going to take the 100K and the 50K from this. I already have under contract, right? I'm going to write under contract. I have a very nice industrial building, okay? Roll-up doors, big yard out here, lots of parking. These are the things. Now, this is the kind of asset that you want to hold on to. I got to move some of this over so you see it. So think about this, how fast this is happening. Me and my son have bought these two houses just in the last 8 weeks. One of them I only closed less than 2 weeks ago. The other one, probably less than 8 weeks, bought the other one. So this one, just about ready to put on the MLS, make $100,000. This one I'm going to put them on at the same time so people will kind of choose between them. So we'll roll these two and we'll buy this building. This building is under contract for $500,000, okay? I think this building is worth $750,000 right now, $750,000. And I think it could be worth maybe even closer to $900,000. But by taking this $150,000 and buying this property for $500,000, when this is all done and said, we're going to have a $750,000 building. Okay, we're going to have this $750,000. It's not thick enough. This, let me get a little thicker here. Oh, I know what's going on. We're going to have this $750,000 building. We're going to be buying it $250,000 under market, and we're putting the $150,000 that we made on these two little homes. So we're gonna have, at worst case, we're gonna owe $350,000. Okay, that's going to be our debt, but we're going to have equity of $400,000. So follow me. These two houses that we bought in the last 8 weeks are going to lead to us buying a building, hopefully. I still got to look at a few things, but it looks pretty good right now. We're going to take the 150 equity out of these two properties that we bought, buy this building for $500 that's worth $750, and we're going to have basically $350,000 debt on an asset that I anticipate will make roughly, it'll probably have $7,000 a month coming in. So you do the math on that. You know, the asset's worth very, very close to $1 million, even with the higher interest rates. You know, we'll be paying probably 7.5% interest on this money here. So even if it was $824, you know, so we might have a $2,500 payment against a $7,000 income. But do you understand? Look how fast this is happening already. And I'm glad I get to do the example and lay it out for you to see. So let's go back to marker. It's funny, it never ceases to amaze me. Some people just kind of tune out when you're talking about money. Anyways, by the way, listen real quick here for a plug for the mentorship. Be sure to get in the webinar. I'll be right back, and I'm going to finish up and show you some cool stuff. You want to learn how to make millions of dollars in real estate? I've made tens of millions over my lifetime, and I'm showing people how to do it. Get in my free webinar. I have it every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Go to the link below, FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Sign up for it. You can talk to me face-to-face if you want. Don't waste any time. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You don't want to miss my channel. I've been doing it for years. All right, so look, I'm going to show you basically an example of where I did what I'm about to do with my son's and our property together. I'll show you what I've done myself. Basically, and I kind of go into some of this stuff in the webinar, but if you look at this, I'll show you, let me get you in the neighborhood. Okay. I'm going to show you. You see right here, if you're looking down over my shoulder here, I bought every property you see in this, right? This is a house, this is a house, this is a house, another house, another house. Well, if I take you down to the street, and I will, if I can, I'm not sure this is going to be friendly enough to do it. It doesn't matter, anyways. Bottom line is, I sold two of these houses that you see here. I sold this one, and then I sold another one over here. This one right here. Okay, I sold this house over here, and those other two. And what did I do? I bought. Let me fly to the other plot location. I did the same thing. I sold three houses, but in this case, I made about $1.2 million. I made over $1.2 million on those properties, and I bought. Okay, here we go. And I bought this building over here. I seem to get that right. Yeah. So in other words, those three houses, the profit from those three houses bought me this building for $1.6 million. And this property brings in about $12,000 a month. So you understand? So I'm doing it on a smaller level because my son's at a more junior level than I am, obviously. But he's going to have two houses that he rolled into buying a building that's worth $750,000, and he's going to have $400,000 equity, okay, and no money out of his pocket, right? All of his money's been returned. Everything that's just pure equity in a property that's sitting there, just like this building is to me. The three houses that I bought them right. I flipped them. They paid for this building. Instead of getting $6,000 a month on those three houses, now I get $144,000 a year on this building right here. And plus this building. When I bought this building, by the way, when I bought this building for $1.6 million, it was worth $2.4 million. So I made $800,000. Just like on my son's deal, he's basically making $250,000 on the purchase. On this one, I was making about $800,000 on the purchase. So that's how it works. And Jerry's in here. Jerry did a fantastic job. Actually, Jerry, I get a lot of people in here from the class, by the way, and many of them already made a lot of money. Clint wrote here, I really like this format. I'd like to see more of it, especially for those of us that's new at this. That's great, Clint. Clint, I try to share what I can here, but of course I give the really extra good stuff to you guys in the class. So. But this is happening now. Jerry, Jerry here is one of my biggest. In fact, here, let's just take a quick look. I'll share with you folks that are watching. Let me see here. Do I have something hidden here? Yeah, look at this. I'll show you this. So, Jerry, there's Jerry. He's actually watching right now. Jerry just made, $2 million basically in equity. Right there. There's Jerry. Look at that beautiful building. Let me get my head out of the way. That's Jerry's. He's watching right now with you guys. He's got that beautiful 19,000 square foot building you see that my head's covering. And then he's got that other 5,000 square foot fireworks building. And there's even another building he got along with that. And again, he had several six-figure flips that led him to buy this, and it's a cool thing. So, but now let's get back here to Josh. I'm going to watch this with you guys, and I want you to see this because he's a wonderful family man, just like Jerry and Liam and others watching here. But I want you to watch this because it's just this is what makes it so rewarding for me. So let's go. I've got a really great guest here. Special to me, especially because he's in my mentorship and he's made a lot of money. And this is Josh. Josh, thanks for being on the show. I gotta get my head out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Josh here, like me, has made a lot of money in land in a fairly short amount of time, and of course he's in love with it and continues to do it. What would you say to anybody that is considering getting into the mentorship?
Well, I would say if they're considering, the premise of why they're considering is because they want a change in their life, and that change is they want money, basically they want to change their financial position, and you got to do something, make a choice, take action. And for me, all I can speak on is my experience. And I mean, it's changed my life reading the book, enjoying the mentorship, and having proximity to you. And there's things that you can't really actually convey that are a benefit, like other people and yourself rubbing off on me. And so when I'm in a conversation, I've heard you talk about so many deals that I'll find myself, I found my own style now, but in the beginning, like really mirroring some of your dispositions.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
and
And
it
then
just
you
adds
got to trust
confidence.
yourself and understand that you're unique in the way that you are, and your personality, if that comes into effect, or even the way that you strategize. Just a ballpark, how much money do you think you've made now since you've been in the mentorship, just on land and profit and equity? An
Yeah,
idea.
straight up from real estate, everything cash and notes, and close to $1 million. But that's with like, people owe me notes, right? It's a
Sure.
10-year amortized thing with
You'll own your own techniques and but the main thing is get you rolling, right?
exactly.
And
Yeah.
then you begin to trust yourself when you see the success of another student. And that's what matters. It doesn't matter how much money I've made. I can brag about it all day. But the bottom line is it's that the mentorship works, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny, you mentioned doesn't matter how much money you've made versus we're all on our own path.
Right.
And it's just interesting, like, I think at the core, it just for me matters to be free. Like, I think, and that's why another reason why I'm attracted and have been attracted to your mentorship is you still have a blue collar vibe. Like, you're still a working man at heart, and is what I get. And in that, I'm saying you don't, how to put it, like you would rather be rich than appear to be rich.
So yeah, so this you can watch this whole video on Josh. I just released it. That's about half of it already. But this is a guy and this happens actually. I actually just had another student in the class just joined me, and after he got in, he was already under contract to buy something else, and he realized I made a mistake. There's not enough margin. I'm buying the wrong property. And he's backing out of it now. He's backing out of it. He may lose a few $1,000, but it's worth it. It's better to lose a few thousand than to sink yourself. You can't throw good money after bad. A lot of people have a very hard time facing reality. Like I see people that invest in stock and they make a mistake and then they say, oh, I'm hodling, meaning I screwed up and now I'm holding. Anyways, but this is the beauty of real estate. It's just math. You can look at a property, you're upside down or you're not upside down. If you can see that you're trending down, it's math, right? You can see the values are going down. You better sell it before you hit the bottom. These are the things that you do, and these are the things that will keep you safe. It's just a wonderful thing. I love math, and that's what I enjoy most about the real estate. So in the mentorship, by the way, just so everybody knows, when you see this, we have some new videos. We had Josh up here next, but there's Jerry showing off his wonderful $2 million home run deal. And then also, oh gosh, his name escapes me right now. Why? Shane, yeah. This is Shane. Shane, he's already closed 2 deals, made well over 100 and probably 10,000, and he's about to make another 100 on this 3rd deal, maybe a little bit more. Chris here, great guy, family man, quit his job at the church, making 60,000 a year. He's already made, just about 4 times that this year in less than that amount of time. Rich here, actually, I'm probably going to meet Rich at a building tomorrow. Rich here, he had a very similar story to what I just described. He made about $1.3 million on 3 transactions that led him to buy 3 more transactions. But the first 3 were land. Maybe one of them had a mobile home, but the first 3, over 800 grand realized on one deal alone. But he made over $1 million, rolled that into buying 2 nice, beautiful industrial buildings like I described, as well as 2 retail structures. And so he's got some great properties sitting there that are, making him money, going to take care of him through no matter what happens. He's going to have money coming in. And, you're going to have vacancies and that sort of thing once in a while. But guess what? When you have a lot of equity, the vacancies don't hurt you. I could have My properties, if I lost half of my tenants, and I'm 100% occupied, that's on over 185 1,000 square feet. And, and if I lost half my rents, I could still survive, and anyways. But all these people you see here, great stories, every one of them. And these videos aren't even up to date. Some of these are 6 months old, and they've made another deal or two since then. So urge you to go to Flip Anything USA right here. Click on webinar, click on mentoring survey. Either way, at least you'll get on my emailing list, and you can start to be apprised of some of the opportunities that I have for you. And right now, I can tell you, number one, hit subscribe, hit like. Don't miss your opportunity. You got somebody here with 42 years. I started super young, and that's really the advantage I have over most people, is that I started early and I was quite young. And that's a great advantage for you if you need a good mentor. So compare the mentors. I don't talk in vague numbers. I talk specific about profits, and you'll see them also in here. So anything else you guys want to look at or see? I think, what else can we do? Go back up here to Google Earth. But like I say, people think, oh, well, who's going to rent that big building from me? Listen, that building's been rented for 35 years by a second generation company. And, these are the kinds of things that, I can alleviate your fears, because I know I've been there, done that. And, I've got other whatever you want to talk about, that's a big one. That's a 20,000 square foot building right there. That was another very nice deal. I've got, office buildings. That's actually a food park and an office building. It makes a lot of money. Go down the road, there's this big strip center I own, still own that. These are the things that will take care of you forever. As you look in the distance, you can see all the little blue dots in the back. That's part of the barbell we talk about. Apartment buildings, see, can I click on that? Yeah, look at this. I'll show you something here. This is a apartment building. Who here couldn't come up with $210,000? Okay, this building right here, this thing is 20,000 square feet. I bought it for $210,000. I sold it for over $1 million. So I made almost $1 million just on that building. I also bought these other two apartment buildings, if that's the kind of thing that turns you on. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People get in a mindset that they got to look at, only, houses or, land or whatever. Listen, you want to own whatever is profitable, and you want to be able to buy it. If you can buy it, you can flip it, you can make the most money. Short of that, you can, you can assign it to somebody like me, and you can make, you make a little bit, but, you make a little bit a few times, and then you got a chunk of money for yourself, and then you can start playing with the big boys, so to speak. This building here, I bought this for $240,000. Yeah, $240,000. I sold it for $1,725,000. I made $1.5 million, more than $1.5 million. When you count the rents, I probably made $2 million. And why would I sell it, right? Why would I sell such a great moneymaker building? Well, it's to buy this building you see out here, way out here, and I'll take you out there. This is another strip center. And I still own this one too. This is a beautiful building. And these are the kinds of assets, and this is like Jerry, who I shared earlier with you. He's got, his building's more beautiful, more valuable than this one. Well, no, I take it back. And I'm in a little different area. We both have about $2 million equity in our property. So it's a very, very good way to go. So anyways, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll never steer you wrong. I got nothing to hide. I got great stories to share, and great students that are also, if you get in the mentorship, you'll meet them. It's a wonderful group. And just go to FlipAnythingUSA, and you can, you can get in and you can meet these people, and you can start, be a part of it, right? Be a part of it. And watch that video with Josh. So anyways, hey, thanks everybody for coming in and hanging out, and we'll be in touch soon.
And listen, time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.